I missed my big chance last time. Angie, I'm not gonna miss it again.
If you grew up in a 1970s home, you remember that every house had its own personality. Not in the Pinterest perfect way we think of today, but in the quirks, corners, and features that made life feel cozy, functional, and just a little magical. Today, we're taking a stroll through 13 old home features every 70s kid still grew up with. Number 1. The hallway linen closet with the good sheets.
Bounce has a long-lasting fresh smell. It makes clothes smell fresh long after they come out of the dryer. And women just love it. My wife dried this jacket with Bounce a week ago. Took it out this morning, and it still smells line-dried fresh.
Ah, the hallway linen closet, the crown jewel of every 70s home. You didn't just store towels here, you displayed them like prized possessions. Stacked perfectly in tall towers, the embroidered pillowcases practically glowed under the hallway light, and there was always that one set reserved for company only. The fancy floral print that you weren't allowed to touch unless you were hosting an imaginary tea party. Opening the closet felt like entering a miniature boutique, and the smell, fresh cotton, fabric softener, a hint of mothballs, was oddly comforting.
We used to use liquid fabric softeners until we put some Bounce in our lives.
Bounce, my clothes smell fresh and clean.
Bounce, bounce, my socks don't cling.
Bounce, my shirt feels so soft. With Bounce, all you gotta do is tear one off.
Every time someone needed a towel or pillowcase, you felt like you were borrowing from a treasure trove. And let's be honest, sneaking a peek inside was one of the first grown-up thrills of childhood. Number 2. The vanity table with the skirt around it.
I can't seem to forget you. Your wind song stays on my mind.
Windsong Perfume by Prince Machiavelli.
Next up, the magical vanity table with the fabric skirt hiding its legs. This was Mom's personal throne, her little corner of elegance, and as kids we were mesmerized by the tray of perfumes, the neat brushes, and jars of cold cream that promised the mystery of grown-up beauty. The skirt, usually floral or pastel, sometimes a little frayed, hid a collection of things you weren't supposed to touch, which only made them more fascinating. You could sit there for hours just watching her ritual, the spritz of taboo or wind song, the delicate pat of moisturizer, the careful arranging of jewelry.
Taboo by Dana. The scent that puts a spell everywhere it touches.
Put taboo on you.
It puts a spell on the two of you.
That table wasn't just furniture. It was a stage, a place where glamour, routine, and family memories intersected. Even now, thinking about those perfumed mornings brings a sense of calm, order, and nostalgia all at once. Number 3. The mail slot that dropped letters straight into the house. Oh, the mail slot. The soft thunk of letters landing on the metal tray below was a sound every 70s kid knew like a heartbeat. It wasn't just mail, it was adventure delivered daily. Bills for the adults, postcards from relatives, and sometimes a mysterious envelope with your name on it that made the whole day feel brighter. Unlike the constant pinging of notifications today, this slow, deliberate process gave every piece of paper its moment. Kids would sometimes press their ear to the door, guessing who had sent the letter or what new comic or gift catalog might have arrived. The mail slot was a tiny portal to the world beyond the home, and that simple daily ritual, waiting, listening, discovering, trained patience, anticipation, and, yes, even a little curiosity and memory, all without anyone realizing it. Number 4. The kitchen telephone nook.
Come on.
Come on, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 down. Sorry, Charlie. Hello?
Almost every 70s kitchen had a tiny nook for the family's rotary phone. Usually wall-mounted, there was a small shelf for the phone book, a pencil dangling from a string, and a sense of ritual around its use. This was where kids learned patience, because if you picked up the receiver mid-call, you were breaking an unspoken rule. But for adults, it was the command center, making dinner plans, confirming dentist appointments, and occasionally fielding the occasional prank call from a bored kid. That nook was small, but central, both literally and emotionally. Number 5. The laundry chute, the most magical thing ever.
I made it with the new towels from Bonus Detergent. A fluffy red, white, or blue one comes in every box. Sewing instructions, too. And see how Bonus really whitened Grandpa's gardening shirt.
I love my doll.
To a 70s kid, the laundry chute was pure magic. Drop a sock, a dish towel, or a crumpled shirt, and poof, it disappeared into the dark abyss below.
An egg! An egg.
Now your tablecloth is stained, and how? And if you don't get out all of the stain, if even a little part of the stain is left, then the tablecloth is still stained. Gain has stain removers for each part of the stain.
Moms pretended not to notice, but they knew exactly what you were doing. It wasn't just about efficiency. It was the thrill of movement, sound, and breaking the rules in the safest way possible. The chute taught a little physics, a little patience, and created endless amusement. One sock at a time, it was a tiny portal to adventure. Number 6. The card table that appeared for every holiday. Holiday magic in a 70s home often meant the sudden appearance of the card table, vinyl tablecloth draped across the wobbly legs, positioned just beside the adult table, ready to host cousins, siblings, and any friend of the family who happened to be visiting. Meals on that table were slightly chaotic, slightly sticky, and endlessly memorable. It was where laughter was loud, elbows bumped, and paper plates became the backdrop for competitive games of musical chairs or trivia. That card table was a cornerstone of childhood holidays, a tiny stage for family memory making. All right, real talk. If you've watched more of these nostalgia trips than you rearranged shadow boxes as a kid, it's time to subscribe. I'll keep bringing back these little memories. You just hit that button and we'll call it even. And if you're on Facebook, come join the retro neighborhood. It's like standing on your front porch in 1975, just with fewer shag rugs and more cat videos. Number 7. The sewing drawer. Every house had.
I missed my big chance last time. Angie, I'm not gonna miss it again. There it is!
That's the Athena 2000 electronic machine by Singer. It's $100 off. Push these buttons. It sews 25 stitches. Beautiful. Even measures buttons and makes buttonholes to fit in one step.
Almost every 70s household had a sewing drawer tucked away somewhere. A small treasure trove of spools, buttons, snaps, and the unmistakable tomato-shaped pin cushion. Moms and grandmothers fished through it for everything: hemming pants, mending shirts, or improvising costumes. Kids often sneaked a peek, fascinated by the rainbow of threads and curious tools. It was a little cabinet of possibility, a hint of practicality mixed with creativity. And those tiny sewing disasters or victories? They became stories retold for decades. Number 8. Built-in bookcases filled with encyclopedias. Wall-to-wall bookcases were standard in 70s living rooms and dens, crammed with encyclopedias, photo albums, and stacks of Reader's Digest. Each shelf was a snapshot of a family's life, every trophy, certificate, and well-worn book telling its own story. These built-ins weren't just decorative, they were educational and sentimental. Kids learned the thrill of pulling down a giant volume and discovering a new fact. Parents took pride in their organized chaos. And decades later, those shelves are memory anchors for anyone who grew up exploring them. Number 9. The bathroom hamper that was built into the wall.
The box lists the stains Biz won't soak out, but Biz helps remove more kinds of stains, soil, and tough stuff than any other laundry aid.
Candy bar? Candy bar. Fizz bag.
A little metal door in the bathroom that swallowed your dirty laundry with a satisfying whoosh. It seemed like magic when you were a kid. These built-in hampers reduced clutter, saved steps, and gave parents a touch of domestic genius. For kids, it was a bit mysterious, the doorway that ate socks, underwear, and towels alike. And somehow, it also taught responsibility. Throw it in the right place or deal with mom's gentle sighs. Number 10. The powder blue tile bathroom. Every 70 seconds, bathroom had a personality, often pastel and always unforgettable. Powder blue, mint green, or pink tile covered the walls and sometimes the floor. The sinks, tubs, and even the toilet were color coordinated, creating a small wonderland of hues. Combined with chrome accents and perhaps a shag bath mat, these bathrooms were both functional and stylish. Every child had to navigate it, and every adult secretly loved it. It was a color-coded capsule of the decade. Number 11. The kitchen radio that was always on. Morning routines in a 70s household were orchestrated by the kitchen radio. News reports, weather segments, music, and cooking tips flowed endlessly as moms and dads moved through breakfast and lunch prep. For kids, it was a constant soundtrack. Jingles, pop hits, and dad's favorite rock songs blending into the smells of bacon, toast, and percolating coffee. The kitchen radio wasn't just background noise, it was the heartbeat of home life. Number 12. The porch glider. That classic metal porch glider, with its gentle shh, shh, was the unofficial meeting place for grandparents, parents, and anyone who wanted a moment of fresh air. It creaked, it rocked, and it offered just enough bounce to soothe even the crankiest neighbor kid. Sitting there, drinking lemonade or watching the world go by was a simple joy that marked summers, autumn evenings, and chilly holiday nights alike. Before we wrap this up, let's take a peek at some of your memories from the 70s homes. These stories are the best part of these videos, and I'd love to feature more of them in the next one. Drop your favorite 70s home memories down below. Which closet, table, or nook did you live for as a kid? Your story might pop up right here on screen next time. Number 13. The bedroom shadow boxes. Finally, every 70 seconds, bedroom had shadow boxes, little recessed shelves in the wall for figurines, trophies, or tiny treasures. They were personal galleries, places where kids displayed medals from sports, ceramic animals, or the inevitable Beanie Baby precursor. These shelves were about identity, pride, and imagination. They taught care, organization, and storytelling. And decades later, they're one of the most nostalgic features for anyone who grew up arranging and rearranging them over the years. Hey, before we fully sign off, if you've been enjoying these trips down memory lane with a 70s twist, you might like some of our other videos that explore simple, nostalgia-inspired health and wellness tips, little habits from the 70s, and lifestyle ideas that even now, after decades, are worth checking in on. Watch a couple and let us know what resonates with you. We love hearing feedback from our viewers about what actually brings a smile or a small change to your day. Looking back, 70s homes weren't always modern, sleek, or trendy, but they were magical in their own way. Every closet, nook, and gliding bench contributed to childhood memories that still feel alive. The hallway linen closet, the laundry chute, the shadow boxes, they weren't just features, they were stages for everyday wonder. If you grew up with these features, take a moment to appreciate how they shaped your sense of home, comfort, and childhood curiosity.